Kevin Durant is officially untradeable. And you might hear that statement and be like, yo, Crispy, like that's one of the greatest players of all time. What do you mean he's untradeable? When I'm about to tell you guys is probably one of the worst trade proposals I've ever seen in my entire life of watching the game of basketball. Now, before we get going on this, man, first I want to say welcome back to another 24-hour NBA news update video. You know, we're doing this probably forever now, man. I love doing this. It's so much fun just kind of see what's going on in the NBA, sitting here with, you know, cool people like you and just talk about basketball and, you know, dishing out the comments and everything like that. Man, I really do appreciate all that support and everything that you guys have been giving this series. If I can ask, if you are new to the channel here, please hit that subscribe button, as I cannot grow the channel without you, my friend. But yeah, if you do hit that subscribe button, welcome. We have a lot of fun over here. So, this one, okay, so oftentimes, you know, I'll be making a basketball video, I'll talk about a trade or something like that, and people go in the comments and they'll say, hey, Crispy, you gotta stop playing so much 2K, like, get off that trade finder, Crispy. Like, come on, man, this isn't no fantasy basketball, nothing like this. Like, this is the real NBA. Here we go, man, because I'm going to go and link this trade every single time that I'm commented that, about, you know, just trades being unrealistic. Check it out here, man. Report. This is via Chris Haynes and Vince Goodwill. The Brooklyn Nets asked the Minnesota Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and 4 draft picks in exchange for Kevin Durant, in which the Timberwolves no doubt declined it, right? If you are the Brooklyn Nets and that's your asking price, then how the hell do we expect him to get traded from the team? And, you know, I understand the Brooklyn Nets side of things where they have Kevin Durant under a 4-year contract. Like, there's no point of them just giving him away, especially, you know, if there's like a hint of hope that actually him and Kyrie Irving and the rest of the team can work things out, they can run it back next season. I totally get that. I totally get that aspect of it. But what that trade tells me is that there's no way in hell Kevin Durant gets traded. There is no way, unless there's, you know, 3 or 4 team or 5 team mega trades or something like that, and the Nets are getting all sorts of assets and all these other teams are just losing a little bit of things out there. But also, why would that happen? I don't really have a good answer for that either. And yeah, man, I saw this trade proposal and I was just like, there is no way this is happening. What do you guys think about that? Like, if you want to say, I don't know, like there was a Toronto Raptors fan that just like commented on one of my videos talking about Scottie Barnes not being offered up in trades for Kevin Durant. Like, the Raptors are just like, no, we're not doing this. And he brought up a good point. He's like, you know, like, why do you expect the Raptors to give up Scottie Barnes? So you don't see, you know, the Pistons dishing out Cade Cunningham, or the Rockets with Jalen Green, or the Cavaliers with Evan Mobley. So it makes sense. Like, why would the Raptors want to give up the Rookie of the Year? You know what I'm saying? So I get that part of it. But also, like, the Timberwolves aspect, too. I mean, okay, if you would have said, like, Cat and some draft picks, that I can get behind. But you're also tossing to Anthony Edwards, who looks like he very well could be a top 2 or 3 shooting guard in the NBA very, very soon here. There's just no way that's going on. Now, if it's Kevin Durant from, you know, those days right there when he won the MVP award on the OKC Thunder, sure, that's one thing. But this is a guy that, yes, came back from a horrible injury in a way that nobody expected. Like, Kevin Durant is still playing top-notch basketball, which a lot of players do not do after suffering those type of lower body injuries. But at the same time, like, he's still up there in age. Like Kevin Durant is no longer somebody that you can view upon as, okay, like, we can build this window with him right now, but also have a championship window after too. It's like, no, if you trade for Kevin Durant, the window is right now. If you're trading away Cat and Anthony Edwards, then you're left with a team of Kevin Durant and Rudy Gobert. I mean, you know, and it's like they gave up all their other assets to get Rudy Gobert, so you don't even have tradable assets to, you know, trade for other players to put around KD and Rudy Gobert. And if you want to be quite honest, man, you want to know what sounds a lot like? It sounds like the Lakers situation. They have LeBron James, a great small forward. They have a great big guy in Anthony Davis. Of course, he has injury issues and stuff like that. And obviously, Russell Westbrook's on the team. But, you know, they don't really got any assets to trade to build around those guys. So you're locking in Rudy Gobert at the age of 30, Kevin Durant at the age of, 34? No other assets. Can you trade them all the way to get Rudy Gobert? Like, you're setting yourself up for instant failure. I'm so happy this Timberwolves team's management and everything is just really staying true to themselves and just being like, no, like, we know what we are building here. We traded for our guy in Rudy Gobert, who, by the way, just had a press conference, and it looks like he's really embracing his role on this new team and came there with the idea to win an NBA championship. I'm rooting for the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. Like, that they very well could be my Western Conference team next season. Like, I just love what they're building over there. I love the trade they pulled off. Yes, they gave up draft picks to do so, but I also think there comes a time where you have to, look beyond, like, the draft picks and stuff like that and just being like, okay, no, we have our young guys. We have Ant-Man. We have Cat. Cat's not really young anymore, but he's not old either. He's really in his prime. And it's like, okay, like, instead of just being bad every single year and drafting more young players and continuing building on that, it's like, no, like, we go out there, we get Rudy Gobert. So I'm so happy they're not pulling off the trade for Kevin Durant. Now, if it was before the Rudy trade, they had all these assets to give up, then maybe you could talk me into some type of trade. But definitely would not be Ant-Man, Cat, and 4 first-round picks for Kevin Durant. So, yeah, what else we got going on here, man? We also have, here we go, my dude, Duncan Darvin Ham. By the way, man, Lakers, I love Darvin Ham. Like, he was on the 2004 Pistons. Darvin Ham says Russell Westbrook. Actually, is he up there in the picture? Not. I don't think he's in the actual picture over there with, like, Chauncey and all that. I think I'm like the wider picture, obviously, because he was part of the team. But here we go. Darvin Ham says Russell Westbrook has been counted out prematurely and will start for the Lakers. He says, I got a wholehearted plan, a clear plan on how I'm going to use him. I think he's going to flourish. We ain't going to try to curtail his energy. So I'm trying to think, how exactly could this team use Russell Westbrook? And to be quite honest, I really can't think of a great way. The only way that Russell Westbrook kind of works is, because he's got that high energy. He obviously is great at rebounding the basketball for his size. I don't know if it's a case where maybe you look at him like how the Denver Nuggets, it's going to be a weird comparison, man, but just bear with me here, kind of incorporated Aaron Gordon into their lineup. Like, Aaron Gordon, when he was on the Orlando Magic, the ball was in his hands a lot. It just wasn't really his game. Then once he got, he was still putting numbers and everything, but once he got to the Nuggets, he was more about slashing and playing off the great passing of Jokic and using his athleticism to his advantage. So I don't know, maybe we see something similar with that with Russell, where they take the ball out of his hands. But we've seen that last year too. Like, that was the big issue, is that at least with Aaron Gordon, he can somewhat shoot threes, but Russell Westbrook, you're pretty much sagging off him the entire time. If he's playing off ball, you're going to cut off the, the passing lanes and the cutting lanes and everything like that. And I can't really see a circumstance where Russell is not having the ball in his hands and is still effective. But once again, too, when the ball is in his hands, then it's not in LeBron's hands, and that's an issue within itself, too. So hopefully, Darvin Ham has some tricks up his sleeves or something like that. But I don't know, man. We'll kind of see about it. Beyond that, we also have this right here. This is via ESPN. It says that Donovan Mitchell is unlikely to request a trade. On Mitchell's side, he's going to stand pat. He's not going to force any action right now, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think Donovan Mitchell, seeing that Rudy Gobert was traded away and they want to build around him, like, I still think Donovan Mitchell likes the Utah environment and everything like that. I think he wants to stay there, but at the same time, looking at the roster, not a lot of promising things going on with that team. Like, right now, they don't really have, like, a full-time starting caliber center. They got that Azubuike dude who might end up starting. Maybe they'll sign somebody in free agency. Maybe they go after Dwight Howard. I don't really know, man. But even that's not going to keep Donovan Mitchell happy. I think they have a good opportunity, maybe trade for like a John Collins, one guy that I would actually look to trade off the team. And I know this might come off, the Jazz fans the wrong way, but I would actually look to unload Jordan Clarkson, because Jordan Clarkson, one of the better six men of all time in the NBA. I think he's got some good trade value, and I think they could actually have a somewhat Walmart version of him, a replacement in Malik Beasley. Now, Malik Beasley can have his off years, can have his good years too and everything like that. He's not as good as Jordan Clarkson, but I think, Clarkson being a shooting guard and everything, that combo guard technically, I think when you already have Mitchell on the team who's going to be getting a bulk minutes out there, like Malik Beasley off the bench can be completely fine, and Clarkson can be used to trade for somebody else. And I would love for them to go for like a John Collins or something like that. I think John Collins with Mitchell gives him a new borderline all-star type of three-level scorer that can play in a lot of different ways, but also, Mitchell never really gave Rudy Gobert the ball. Like, it makes sense because Rudy Gobert, unless he's around the basket, wasn't really an offensive player. But giving him that John Collins type of player, I think could really help not only Donovan Mitchell, but John Collins' game out himself too, man. So it's going to be interesting. I think the team needs to get younger. They need to get quicker. And they need to give, Donovan Mitchell something to, I guess, have pride about and just know that, okay, like, I'm going to be giving it every single night because I know at the end of the day, once we reach the playoffs, we're going to be in the running for a championship. And I don't see that with the team right now. Like, say what you want about Rudy Gobert. I think as orchestrated right now, the roster with Rudy was better. But we're still very early in the offseason, and if Mitchell wants to stay there, what I do get a little nervous about is, they don't really make a lot of moves because their mindset is like, okay, maybe next year's free agent class is going to be stronger. Maybe they try to go for Wembanyama. The name's still on the floor. You guys remember a few videos ago when I threw my clipboard? It's still right there with the name Victor Wembanyama. When he's a Piston, I'll get rid of it. No, so I'm thinking something like that. But, Donovan Mitchell also probably doesn't want the team to, have their whole future relying on a rookie, because even Victor's going to take a few seasons to come along. So what do you guys think? Do you think Donovan Mitchell's going to end up staying with the team? My mindset is that is assuming they don't make any other moves with just your basic free agent signings and stuff, I think they're not going to be a very good team, and I think he requests a trade. That's just my thoughts. Could be wrong about it, man, but give me your thoughts in the comment section below. That's all we got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.